All right, Art Ocal here backstage, and joining me at this time is one Chris Chambers.
Chris Chambers, you're stepping here with Chris Chambers. You're looking at Chris Chambers. And the questions you're going to ask me is, Robert Roode. Is that not right? You're asking me about Robert Roode? Robert Roode versus Chris Chambers for the first time tonight in Timmins. And you're going to ask me, you are going to ask me, you are going to ask me, am I nervous? Am I nervous to face Robert Roode? Absolutely not. Man, nerves in my body have been burnt out a long time ago, and the last thing on my mind is worrying about Robert Roode. If you take a good look, I'm moments before my match, and I'm not even dressed for the occasion. But that's okay. It'll take me a few seconds to go out there and have things on and be ready for the greatest match of my life. Tonight, it's going to be Robert Roode versus Chris Chambers for the very first time. And Robert Roode, it's not Chris Chambers who has to be asked if he's nervous. It's going to be you. You don't know anything about me, but I've seen you everywhere and done everything. Robert Roode, tonight you face Chris Chambers, and it is going to be a hell of a match for you to come out on top.
All right, we are just moments away. Chris Chambers versus Robert Roode. Let's send it back to ringside.
And there he is, the future of wrestling, Robert Roode, TNA superstar, former Team Canada member, now on his own, being managed by the lovely Miss Brooks, out to make a statement here to all the TNA roster, to all the BSE roster, to wrestling fans, to wrestling in general. This man is a future world champion, a future Hall of Famer. The guy's got nothing but upside, and good God almighty. Miss Brooks in his corner, can anything be wrong? I don't think so. Making a name for himself tonight, hoping to against Chris Chambers, the BSE original. Robert Roode not having too much luck here in Timmins, has never won a match in Timmins. Tonight, he's looking to make a statement. He's looking to put that monkey off his back, get the Timmins curse behind him, and get the victory here tonight. Back to you, Dave. Chris Chambers here, as I said, a BSE original, one of Ontario's finest independent wrestlers. The guy's quite popular amongst certainly the ladies love him, but and has had a pretty good streak here in BSE. But let's see if he can, overcome the reputation, the name, the skill that is Robert Roode.
Well, the leader and director, Robert Roode Incorporated, being represented here tonight. And then the chief executive offender, Miss Brooks, she needs the microphone here.
Come here, kid. Come here. What's your name?
Chris Chambers.
Chris Chambers. That's cute. That's a cute little name. Let me ask you something, Chris Chambers. Do you actually think that you belong in the ring with Robert Roode?
Wow.
I'll do you one better. Do you actually think that you deserve to breathe the same air as Robert Roode? You see, kid, you're looking at the future of TNA wrestling. You're looking at the new face of professional wrestling.
Doesn't lack confidence.
So do yourself a favor. Get out of this hellhole they call Timmins. Go back to your place in Toronto.
arguing Robert Roode is successful.
I'll compensate you, kid. Here, give me the money. Listen, I'm going to give you $100. Yeah, $100 for your troubles that you've gone through today. For getting yourself all oiled down and in your boots. Here's $100. Thanks for coming out, kid.
Wow, I offered him a $100 payoff to just head home early.
Well, take the money. I mean, don't be stupid. You know, why would you go and try to take on Robert Roode? Why risk the injury? Why risk getting hurt? Take the money, make it an easy night, go back home to Toronto.
Well, hang on a minute, hang on.
There is nobody on the face of this planet, and I don't care who you are or where you've been, nobody talks to Chris Chambers like that and gets away with it. So, little bubble over there, you take this and stick it where I'm sure many other men have.
What?
And Robert Roode, you get your ass in this ring and let me kick it the way I always do it.
You just made the biggest mistake of your life. Big mistake. Back him up. Back him up.
I don't understand anything that Chris Chambers just said right there. Why would he do that? I mean,
Well, Chris Chambers is a competitor, Bob, and that's the thing. The bell is officially rung, and Chris Chambers now one-on-one with Robert Roode, and I gotta tell you, I love the ferocity and the tenacity of young Chris Chambers looking to get in the ring, and he's going right to the top with an attitude like that, ready to take control, and, well, he's gonna be taught a lesson here by Robert Roode to start off.
I don't think that's the top right there. He just got embarrassed by Robert Roode. But Dave, this is a business. Robert Roode understands that. Robert Roode knows if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And he just offered Chris Chambers a heck of a lot of money. And Chambers threw it away, like for the spirit of competition. What's he thinking?
Well, I think a guy like Robert Roode, who is in the position that he is now, is forgetting that he was once a guy like Chris Chambers, a young up-and-comer, somebody who, you know, was trying to break into this business. And, now with the cocky attitude and Robert Roode Incorporated, yes, he's making millions of dollars, and yes, he is a big deal. But what about a young guy like Chris Chambers? You got to start thinking about the future.
What about a young guy like Chris Chambers? You know, the guy should take the money and move on to another fight. To me, trying to go up against Robert Roode just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, Roode now, drop toe hold by Chambers, and there's a little bit back at you. Miss Brooks doesn't seem too impressed, or too happy for Robert Roode, who's laying down on the mat right now. Look at this, stepped over by Chambers.
Wow, giving Robert Roode the turnabout is fair play there, because Robert Roode just earlier before was walking all over Chambers.
Oh, look, a little chase to the outside, a little mind game by Chris Chambers. As Roode gives chase. Oh, off the ropes now. Duck down over top. Beautiful leapfrog. Catches him, tilt-a-whirl, head scissor. Chambers sends Roode to the mat, big drop kick. And down goes Robert Roode to the outside. Chambers, a house of fire.
And Robert Roode, good thing he's getting out of there, getting some advice from Miss Brooks on the outside, slow things down a little bit. I mean, Robert Roode maybe letting his anger get away from him a little bit and fell into a trap set up by Chris Chambers with that aided drop kick.
Now, when do you start giving Chris Chambers credit then, Bob? When do you start to think that maybe he's worth a little bit more than you're willing to give him credit for?
Well, you talk about giving credit. I'm like Robert Roode. I do with cash, not credit. And again, to me, the thing that Chris Chambers did there it's still mind-boggling to me. We'll see if he pays for it in the end. You know, Robert Roode is if he's going to be here in Timmins, he's never won a match in Timmins, so he's going to take his frustration out on Chris Chambers, I think. Why would you let her cover up like that? What are you doing?
Listen, she came over and took my jacket. What am I supposed to do?
What are you, a man? You can act like a man. Come on, don't give me your jacket. He's just covering up the enormous potential assets of Tracy Brooks, and you just let her. Oh, you're an idiot, Dave.
Well, why don't you go take the coat back then, Bob? Tough guy.
I'm not stopping at the jacket, but I'm not going to put my hands on a woman without a few beers in the first. And wow, look at that huge chop by Robert Roode.
In control at Chambers. Wow, Robert Roode, definitely a future world champion in your eyes, and I mean, it's very hard to disagree.
I've said for many years that Robert Roode is just a matter of time before he is TNA heavyweight champion. You know, the guy's got nothing but upside in this business. He's got all the skills, and
well, what about this though? The TNA champion is here in the building tonight. Kurt Angle, do you think he's in the back right now, maybe taking notes on this match?
I think he's got to be. You know what? I think Christian Cage is in the back there checking out Robert Roode. I think Kurt Angle certainly is. And I think TNA management is going to be watching this match and looking at, hey, you know what? Robert Roode has got the goods. He can deliver. And he just delivered a nice shot to the face of Chris Chambers right there.
The TNA Heavyweight Championship will be on the line tonight here in Timmins. Gold Rush 2007. And Robert Roode now takes the fight to the outside.
A historic night here in the Bob Dylan Sportsplex. A TNA Heavyweight Championship match. And wow, and it's something that obviously Robert Roode is, once he can get this curse of Timmins behind him, once he can finally win a match here in Timmins, he can look beyond this cesspool of a city.
Lovely sports jacket being worn by Miss Brooks. But I think I'm with you. I wouldn't mind if she would give it back.
I just
a huge chop to the chest. This fight's still on the outside.
Afraid she's stretching it out a little bit, though. Although I've seen your physique and maybe not so much.
Well, hang on now, Miss Brooks. Come on now, behind the referee's back.
Chris Chambers.
Oh, rake to the back.
Chris Chambers trying to attack Miss Brooks, and he's getting what's coming to him, as far as I'm concerned. You can't put your hands on a lady.
And there's a cover by Roode, only a 2 count. Miss Brooks not very happy with the referee at this point in the match.
No, but she's got to be happy with Robert Roode's performance. Look at this, Dave. Chris Chambers, I mean, for all the fire, piss, and vinegar in him, he's right now flat on his back. He's gapping like a fish on a dock trying to get out.
Well, I got a bleeding nose at this point. I mean, that's going to hinder the breathing of Chambers. He's going to need to slow things down. And Roode, my goodness, a runaway train. No stopping him. There's a cover now. One, a kick out. You know, you still got to hook the leg, and you still got to do the basic things, and Robert Roode hasn't done it at this point. And that's why this match is still going on. Chambers now. Wow, that nose is really bleeding.
Well, and there you go. Robert Roode's kind of like a shark. He sees that blood, he smells it, and he's going to just start putting on the hurt a little bit more. Maybe he doesn't need to hook the leg right now because he's got Chris Chambers. It may be prone that he can be pinned anytime Robert Roode wants to deliver the final blow.
So you think it's a game at this point for Robert Roode? And look at this now, snapping that neck forward. That can do perfect damage to the neck.
Perfect execution there by Robert Roode. Look at him, soaking in the, and really just showing the fans what's what there. And a little calisthenics there. This is nothing more than a workout.
Chambers in a fight for his life, back up to his feet, throwing those right hands. Looks Roode into the corner, whips him in hard to the buckle, follows through, but eats boot. Man, oh man, right to the face of Chambers. Down he goes again.
Oh, he ran in hard, right into the big kick of Robert Roode, right to the face. And
the fans getting on the case of Robert Roode here in Timmins. Huge slam. You know, we've seen some streaks end here tonight. Brian Youngblood's undefeated streak ending here, and the winless streak of Robert Roode. He hopes to end it here tonight with a win over Chris Chambers if he can.
And we saw the first win of many in Ash's streak of defending the Suicide Six-Pack Championship earlier tonight, too.
Oh, huge knee. Right to the shoulder, neck, and the side of the head area. There's a cover, 1, 2, and again, failing to hook that leg. This could prove costly for Robert Roode.
Well, I don't think so, Dave. I mean, Chris Chambers right now is a desperate man right now. And, you know, Robert Roode, though, I will say this, there's no wasted moves on him whatsoever. Everything he does, he does for a reason. Everything's crisp, solid, and look at that. You talk about the fundamentals. There's a fundamental move right there. A huge headlock, clamping down, squeezing the oxygen, squeezing the life out of Chris Chambers.
He's got that chin lock in tight. Make sure that's not a choke. Looks good at this point. Roode.
I'll give credit to the cameraman, too, getting right into the action right now. You can see
Chambers, the hair and the blood all in the face. And this could be it. He could be down.
You can see his eyes there. They're glazing over, Dave. I think
that's 2. Hang on a second here, Bob. This could be it.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Chambers keeps that arm up. I don't know where he's getting the energy from. I mean, it's coming from somewhere, but look at this. Back up to his feet. Fist to the midsection. Breaks it up. Ducks under the elbow. Roode now ducks. Missed that clothesline. Double clothesline. Both men down.
Well, Chris Chambers with the House of Fire there. I mean, he caught a second win. It must have been soaking in the energy from this crowd. I think that's the only explanation. But right now, both men down. And Robert Roode, he took a huge clothesline right now.
Well, I think the pounding on the ring there had the wrong effect from Miss Brooks. I mean, it's starting to get the crowd behind Chris Chambers, who's getting back up to his feet.
Yeah.
And so is Roode at the same point, though.
And if you weren't wearing your jacket, you goof, we could have enjoyed that pounding on the mat.
Both men back up to their feet. Roode up just slightly before Chambers, but a block. There's a right hand. Roode comes off the ropes, blocked again. And hang on a minute. Roode Rude is rocked, and down to the mat he goes. Chambers coming back with everything he's got. Whips him off the ropes once again. The duck down, huge back body drop. Down goes Rude.
Oh, and the president of Robert Roode Incorporated is in trouble right now.
Big scoop, and look at this into a neck breaker. What a move. There's a cover. Chambers, 1, 2. Ooh, that same fundamental mistake that Robert Roode made earlier could prove costly for Chambers, not hooking the leg.
And Robert Roode is on the verge of losing another match at Timmins.
Rude with that big knee to the midsection, whips Chambers back in, scooped under, but caught. He's caught in midair. Oh, there's that big kick to the chin, the cover, 1, 2, this thing is over.
Oh, Robert Roode barely escapes the 3 count with getting that shoulder up just an inch before the referee's mat hit the third.
Referee's hand hit the mat is what you're trying to say.
I can't believe what's going on. Robert Roode.
Well, wait a minute now, scoop slam. Chambers could be going to the top rope for that big flying elbow drop that he's been known to do here.
He might be putting Robert Roode away, and Robert Roode gonna lose another match here in Timmins?
Oh, and he just shoved Miss Brooks down to the mat.
Again.
Down to the floor on the outside, rather.
Again, beating up a woman.
Oh, no, nobody home, though.
And he paid for it right there as Robert Roode capitalized on the situation.
Oh. There's that lariat.
Beautiful northern lariat right to the back of the head of Chambers. And this match it looks like it's, yeah, he's setting up, Dave.
There's that fisherman suplex with the hook. This thing is over.
Robert Roode hits the payoff, gets his win in Timmins. Robert Roode, the first step on his walk towards glory, walk towards
World Championship status is what you're calling for. I mean, a very impressive victory over Chris Chambers, but you got to give the kid credit. Chambers really battled hard throughout this entire match. He didn't make it easy on Roode, that's for sure.
I give credit to Chambers. He went toe-to-toe with the future TNA champion.
Quick jacket back.
On this night, he fell a little bit short. And you talk about a rush, you talk about Robert Roode's career. Dave's getting his jacket. Where the heck did he go? Anyway, we got an 8-man elimination match. Suicide Kids, Brutus and Akira John taking on Tyson the Tornado and the Blackheads.